and hello everybody on Instagram. So today's meal is going to be pork burgers, and already I have made the topping that's going to go on it. So this is cucumbers and carrots that I have just used a vegetable peeler and made ribbons out of, and then I added a tablespoon of sesame oil and a tablespoon of rice wine vinegar as a dressing for it, and toss it together and set it aside, and it's been set aside now for about 30 minutes. Okay, also in the oven I have potatoes roasting. You guys know how to roast potatoes, or if you don't, you can find dozens of other videos where I'm doing it, and start there. So now I'm just going to pat out my pork patties really quickly and toss them in to the pan. This is one of Mark's favorite dinners. I do not like it at all. Bink likes it, so I'm not eating meat anyway, so I'm making it. This is something that I make for them when I don't plan to eat it. I just don't care for it. I don't like a pork burger. I like a beef burger. And I especially do not like a pork burger when I have to handle the raw pork, because I'm an obsessive hand washer. And pork and chicken both make me particularly more so. So I'm gonna put a little salt on them because you want them to have flavor. And later you will see me add just a little brushing of sesame seed oil and a Korean barbecue sauce. So let me go see what's happening. I think I accidentally just flipped the breaker because my overhead light went out. So I think it's because I have several things plugged up over at the wash machine all at the same time, and that is not a good combination. I'm gonna have to tell B she's got to unplug some of her toys. Okay, real life, I told you guys I'm not perfect. Nothing's ever gonna be perfect here. So don't start looking for it today. And I will try to read your comments as we fry this. And you'll also hear my puppy dogs because they're bananas. Let me go back here. Literally your life. You cannot do multiple things at the same time. Yeah, it's just life. I think all old homes are that way. And ours particularly. No, this is not sausage. This is plain ground pork. You hear my puppies going bananas because my husband's getting home. This is just plain ground pork, ground from the shoulder, with plenty of pork fat in it. So not sausage, not seasoned. The only seasoning is what you have seen me put on, and that is salt. Okay. I don't think sausage burgers would be very good at all. Okay, now I gotta go outside and grab the buns out of the freezer because I'll have to toast buns in just a moment. And your girl didn't do it. So just like always, I'm on the fly. Will you go out there and grab the bun out of the freezer?
pop this up on you. Didn't know you.
Somebody popped it up on me. I didn't know I was going to need buns for your burgers. I'm sending Mark to get it. He's been busy all day teaching class. And I normally only flip burgers one time, but today you're going to see me flip them multiple times because it's pork and I'm paranoid. So with, beef burgers, if it's fresh particularly, you can do rare. Don't do that with pork. Let's season this side. And again, this is not sausage. This is just pork shoulder that has been ground into pork burger. And we have 2 bakery buns here that I'm going to let thaw for a second. That have been in the freezer. And then we'll toast them up in just a minute. Okay. If you have any questions, you can ask when we go. It's only good added to lean wild meat to make it grillable. I don't know what you're talking about. I've heard of wiener dogs, but not banana puppies. Oh, it's silly. Okay, so pork fat we add to, when we're making deer sausage. We don't add pork fat or pork meat to deer outside of that circumstance. Let me grab a hot hand. But I love a ground beef burger. I don't like a pork burger. Now, my husband loves these pork burgers. And so does my daughter and my son. But we don't add pork to venison because venison is a red meat unless we're making sausage. And we have taught that, how to make deer sausage several times and shown you exactly how to do that for our members, not for Instagram. Okay. We're doing, you cook pork to death too, Mary? Me too, sister. Pork is one of those things that I don't play with. It can go hairy in no time flat. Check your potatoes I've got roasting. I'll be right back. Gonna make sure his taters are getting done. Alright, so now I'm just going to take a tiny bit of sesame oil and drizzle on these burgers. Just to give it some sesame flavor. And then shortly, we'll brush them with Korean barbecue sauce. So they're like a barbecue pork burger. They're not just like a pork burger, a plain pork. I'm going to scoot you guys back because that way it doesn't get too hot on the phone and turn you off, because phones don't like it hot. Okay, we're getting close. Let me grab another skillet to do the buns in. No, not yet. We can't run. Okay. We'll put it back here. And they're okay. See right here. And I'll bring that out here in just a second to show you what I'm talking about there. Just toasting buns. I think everybody knows how to do that. I want to make good and sure that these pork burgers are completely done. I'm going to grab butter and put it over in that skillet and turn it on low to start melting. So that when I'm ready for that skillet, it's ready to go too. So I can toast these buns up. So has anybody ever had a pork burger before? Mark says the sesame oil makes it. A lot of people get excited over sesame oil. If you don't want it, honey, don't use it. You can use something else. But that gives it flavor. Okay. Make sure I'm not missing comments down here on the tube. Okay. All right, these are done for sure. I'm going to swap out the skillets from front to back. There we go. Now I've got my butter melting. And I'm just going to toast the buns one at a time, because it's going to take a few minutes for the potatoes to finish, and then we're going to put it all together. I normally use a bigger skillet, but my bigger skillet is in my other bigger skillet. I have a giant skillet, and then I have two big skillets, and the two big skillets are busy. And then I have two small skillets and a medium skillet. The medium skillet's busy, and the small skillet's right here. The other small skillet's over there. Are you guys bad? Do you use like all your cast iron all in one day? I have probably, I don't know how many pieces, but I use them for every meal. And Instagram, you guys can see my YouTube camera down here too, I think. How do you clean the pork pan? With soap and water, and then we reseason it gently, and then a couple times a year we burn them off in a fire. Okay, there we go. And I don't know if that pan right there, so I guess I should say this. You can't do that with a new cast iron pan. That cast iron pan you saw me fry the pork in, that's a Griswold, and it's from Mark's great grandmother, Mark's 55. So that should give you some idea about just how old that pan is. She would be way over 100 years old. So that one you can, and this one, I don't know if it's a Griswold or not. I'd have to flip it over and look. It may be a Wagner, but really old cast iron pans that have been seasoned for 100 years, you can clean much more easily and not ruin. But like new Lodge ones are just not like that. You wash them with soap one time, everything you touch after that sticking to them until you burn them and re-season them. Yeah. Hey, Heather Baker. Y'all come on out and I'll feed you. And Heather, how do you clean your cast iron? Now, my cornbread pan does not ever get washed, just so we're clear. It gets wiped out. So people down here in the South, their cornbread pans only get used for one purpose, and that is for cornbread. You put a little more butter in there. Turn the heat off on that. Put a bun in. There we go. We'll be plating this all up in just a minute. I'm gonna cut one of those pork burgers in half. He'll never know. For sure, it's totally done, guys. I was right. Okay, let me down here and check on his taters. Does that look like good to y'all? Pork burgers and roasted potatoes, and put a little hoisin or Korean barbecue is what I'm using today. Okay. Now, let's plate it up. There we go. Give me just 1 second. Alright, so while these burgers are still hot, that's just a little Korean barbecue sauce on. And he will probably put more. So here's how we build the burger. Poor Patty. Probably a little more barbecue. And then we need the carrot and cucumber. It goes on top. I know that does not sound good. He swears it's wonderful. A flake of salt. Bun. And then potato wedges. And these are, for anybody who's curious about it, Yukon Gold potatoes. Whoop, I burnt myself. They are literally the best. All right. So there we go. And that's gonna be dinner. And then he has, obviously, seconds if that's what he wants. Okay, so that's dinner. I'm gonna hop off here and clean my mess up. Never would have thought of a pork burger as a comment on YouTube. Let me make sure I don't miss any on Instagram. Cornbread only. 3 in the stove right now. They're all 70 years old. Yeah, all of ours the same, Heather. Probably some of the same sources too. All right, I will catch you guys later. I gotta go feed Mark, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Let us know if you make it and how you enjoy it.